welcome to Movie Review Mom. If this is the very first time that you're here, yay, you found my channel. I'm so glad. Hopefully you'll like what you see and subscribe. I really appreciate your support while I try to grow this channel. And if you are already a subscriber, welcome back. I really appreciate your support. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called The Good Nurse. This dark, dramatic crime movie is now available on Netflix. It's rated R and is 2 hours and 1 minute long. The movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B+. Now I know very few, if any, film critics give their score at the very beginning of their review. So keep watching, don't click away so I can explain why I'm giving it the score that I am. So I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I like and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about if you watch this with other people, interesting lines, funny lines if there are some, and recommendations for other movies that are sort of similar that you might also like. All right, ready? Let's dive in. In a nutshell, Amy, a compassionate nurse and single mother struggling with a life-threatening heart condition, is stretched to her physical and emotional limits by the hard and demanding night shifts in the ICU, but help in a hospital. An intensive care unit is what ICU stands for, in case you didn't know. But anyway, help finally arrives when Charlie, a very thoughtful, kind, and empathetic fellow nurse, starts working at her unit. While sharing long nights at the hospital, the two develop a strong and devoted friendship. And for the first time in years, Amy truly has faith in her young daughter's future. But after a series of mysterious patient deaths sets off an investigation that points to Charlie as the prime suspect, Amy is forced to risk her life and the safety of her children to uncover the truth. This is the very first movie in English directed by Tobias Lindholm. The filming was done in Connecticut, but this is a true story. So that's what makes it really interesting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me share some of the things that I really liked about this movie. The strength of the movie is by far the two leading Oscar winners, Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. They give incredible and perfectly subtle performances, as expected. I adore them both in everything and anything that they do. The supporting cast was also good, but my eyes were firmly planted on those two stars. I teach classes at a nursing school, believe it or not. So I was especially intrigued by this story and will definitely be talking to my students about it. The good nurse is Amy Loughran, who is a real nurse, and she's currently living in Florida, where she's still a nurse and also a practicing Reiki master and hypnotherapist. The fact that this disturbing story is based on true events is what makes this movie even more compelling and frightening. We see how hard nurses work physically, and we also see the emotional burden that they bear every day while they're caring for all of us. They truly are heroes. And my twin sister is a nurse practitioner, by the way. I admire her skills and knowledge so much. We also see a tribute to hardworking single mothers who are often nurses. What's especially frightening, I think, and terrifying is realizing that a hospital crime like this could easily still happen today. So the list of things that I didn't like is pretty small. The movie itself is pretty slow moving and would have been better, I think, with the shortened, more tightened screen time. Now, here's a spoiler. I try not to ever give spoilers, but it is absolutely infuriating to learn that the hospitals where Charlie had worked, many hospitals, did absolutely nothing to stop a wayward nurse, nor were they ever prosecuted for their negligence. So that's not giving too much away, is it? Because we don't get all of the answers that we truly want, we're kind of left feeling a little bit unsatisfied. However, at the end of the movie, there are screen cards that tell you a little bit of the rest of the story. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. I think kids are going to be extremely bored. It's mostly adults talking. We do see dead bodies, including a topless dead woman. A woman passes out due to her medical condition, and then there's lots of talk of death. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are life and death, truth, friendship, single mothers, nurse integrity, hospital corruption, and emotional strength and resilience. So I have a written review on moviereviewmom.com, and there you can see a bunch of the funny lines and interesting lines that I wrote. I'll share just a few of them with you right now. For example, there's this conversation between Jessica Chastain, the good nurse, and Eddie Redmayne, the not so good nurse. And so she's showing him around the hospital on his first night there. And she says, oh, there's a code to access the bathroom. Very importantly, the highly original code 4321. And then he kind of smirks and says, uncrackable. So, but other than that, I mean, it's mostly a very serious movie. This is not a comedy, of course. So I will share one interesting line. I think if I share too many, they're going to be spoilers. So one interesting line spoken by Jessica Chastain's character is when she says to Eddie Redmayne, I'll never understand, not how you, who is so kind and generous, how you could hurt people. And that's the big question in the movie is once we realize it's him, how could somebody do that? And so anyway, I don't want to say any more about that. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for other movies that I think you'll also enjoy if you enjoyed this one. One is 5 Days at Memorial, referring to 5 Days at Memorial Hospital when COVID first hit and we saw huge dead body counts in New York City. You can watch this film at Apple TV Plus. Maybe eventually it'll go to some other streaming devices or platforms because it's very well done. But again, heartbreaking. And at some point, all of these are going to be, you remember way back when we had a pandemic? Isn't it amazing? We've all lived through a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. All right. And then 2 are about the same serial killer. The first one is Dahmer, which is now playing on Netflix, just like The Good Nurse is playing on Netflix. But another movie that you can find on Amazon is called My Friend Dahmer. And I think people are just fascinated with these serial killers because it's just incomprehensible. And we want to know why. Why would they do that? And so all of these movies are really interesting and speak to some of that. Well, the serial killer ones. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. And as I said earlier, it really helps me when you simply subscribe or like my video or comment down below. It helps other people to find my channel so that it can grow. And that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to give families the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that they and you can make a decision on which movies to watch. All right, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.